Hello, it's Smallmouth Crush. On behalf of Monster Bass, I want to make a quick video. Literally blown away by one of the items that came in this box. And that's what I really want to talk about today. That's all coming up. All right, the Monster Bass box. It's got all kinds of fish catching baits in here. A Series 3 XD for real. You're going to catch fish on all this stuff. A red-eye shad. Of course you are. Strike King buzzbait. I mean, it's just full of great tackle that shows up at your door month after month. It's exciting when that box arrives. But never did I think I'd be like totally blown away and as excited as I am today based on a product that recently came in that box. I'm a finesse angler, okay? You're going to find me fishing highly pressured fish. You're going to find me fishing fish that are not as active as I'd like them to be. You're going to see me with a spinning rod, light line in my hands, maybe really picking apart structure. And so finesse baits like Ned Rigs and soft plastics and, of course, drop shotting come to mind when I think of those applications. But Rabid Baits showed up in my box. Yes, it's cool getting crankbaits and all this stuff. And yeah, I've used them. I've used all these baits and they work. But I've never used this bait before. I never even knew it existed until it showed up at my door. And I think that's what I want to get across to the anglers that are out there because there's so many different baits on the market. And it seems sometimes as an angler, you get set in your ways and you know what baits you want to throw on a regular basis. Like I said, I love throwing a finesse bait, but I never knew these baits existed. This is literally a soft plastic bait that you can fish like a Ned Rig, but it's got some marabou, some hair at the tip of that. I'm going to show this bait underwater so you guys actually understand what I'm talking about here and why I got so excited, because as a finesse angler, I rely on baits like this time and time again to catch fish. I really do. I prefer to really slow down and give those fish something unique like this bait. So let's break it apart. I'm going to share with you how I would rig it, some different applications I can see this bait working, and then of course I want to show you this bait under the water. Huge fan of the Ned Rig, and this is basically going to be fished just like a Ned Rig. There it is. It's got a little bit of hair. You're going to see what this does underwater, which is really, really exciting. So I'm going to throw this bait anywhere where I feel that there's going to be a fish living. Typically, it's going to be around some structure. So I do like to throw this around rock or even some man-made, perhaps concrete or metal. The areas I fish, there's a lot of old debris in the water from years ago, whether it be where they used to build ships or old places where they used to log. There's just a lot of history, if you will, in the water. And all that history is actually fish catching structure because those fish relate, because the bait fish like to hang out there as well. And so I'm going to throw a lot of these baits, and I'm going to fish a Ned Rig anywhere from 2 feet to out to 40. There really is no preference in my mind. Any depth where those fish are holding, you can target them with a Ned Rig. You know, the depth is going to be determined what size head you choose. I'm going to be fishing these really, really slow, more oftentimes than not. Looking at my jig heads to put this piece of plastic on. There's a bunch of options out there. If you can get your hands on the Z-Man Ned Locks, they're actually my favorite Ned Rig jig. As you can see here, it's got a really nice hook. It's not too light. I mean, you can bend it slightly, but you're not going to break it. It really is able to penetrate that fish's mouth really well. What I also like is because it does have a little bit of lead here, a lot of that weight is hidden on the shank of the hook, and so your head is actually much smaller. It has a really good line tie. It's just an all-around great jig head. I've caught thousands of fish on these jig heads in the past couple of years fishing Ned Rigs. And so they make a variety of sizes. 1/15 is going to be the lightest. This is a 1/10, and then they have a 1/6, and then a 1/5, which is a little bit heavier. This 1/5 is going to be when you're fishing that 12 plus foot of water. For the most part, I tend to to really like using that 1/10, especially if it's fairly calm and I can work that bait and I have good bottom contact. But if I have to, I will go to this 1/6 size as well. So the Rabid Baits, it's called the Rabid Fox Tail. So I honestly haven't done any research. That could be fox, could be marabou, could be anything for all I know. Could be bear. Now it's not coarse enough for bear. Could be synthetic, but all I know is it definitely works underwater here. Okay, to rig this bait properly, I'm going to put on a 1/10 size Z-Man Ned Lock's head. It's just what I have confidence in. Again, there's a lot of Ned Rig heads out there for you to choose from. So please use what you have the most confidence in. This is just one that I really, really like a lot. So I'm just going to, first of all, if you've never done this before, you want to line it up and kind of see where exactly that hook point is going to come out on the body there. So I can see about 3 notches up in the plastic is where that hook point will come out. And so I want to put it on even. I want to put that hook right in the middle, and I have my index finger, my thumb, and middle finger guiding it, just inch by inch, making sure it goes up straight. And then right at the last second, I pop that hook point through the plastic and then push all the way up onto the head. So there you go. It's on there perfectly. I like to keep it nice and straight, and this is going to give this bait the most amount of action and allow you to fish it with high confidence, knowing that it's rigged right, it's perfect. Now all you got to do is get around the fish and show them this new type of bait that they've never seen before. Okay, there's not a lot of baits out there that are going to not only float off the bottom and have a little bit of action here with that hair. So you can see in the fish tank, and by the way, you need to get one of these as well if you're serious about testing out baits and becoming accustomed to what that bait does, especially baits that you use on a regular basis. You need to know what that soft plastic's doing down there and how it reacts based on your rod action. So for this instance here, as I'm hopping it along and whatnot, I'm just using my hands with the line, but you can see how that bait's going to react. And what's cool about it is when it's really sitting still, that hair is still moving. Picture a little bit of current down there, some wave action. There's going to be a lot of action on this bait. You can tell now why I'm super, super excited about that. You know, without this subscription showing up in my door, I don't know if I would have, it may have taken me months or years to discover this bait. You see how that hair was moving? Crazy. It's crazy. Not only is it the perfect Ned Rig, Ned size for a Ned Rig, but then you have that hair, it just puffs, it just gives it a little flare down there. Man, those fish have never seen something like that. And I think it's really going to work well, especially in areas that are really, really pressured. So again, Monster Bass, thank you. Home run here. This was awesome. This was really eye-opening for me when it comes to finesse fishing applications. Well, hey, definitely subscribe to the Monster Bass Box. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also head on over to my channel, Smallmouth Crush. I have thousands and thousands of hours of videos, whether it be educational, entertaining, just anything and everything fishing related, and a lot of finesse tactics that I use all the time. And as always, until next time, we'll see you guys on the water with some of these.